everybody. Thanks for joining lesson today. And I was inspired to discuss the lumbar spine because many people have issues in the lumbar spine. And so, as you can tell, Fred is lying on his stomach, and these are his vertebrae in the lumbar spine. And then we're going to go up here. So, I'm going to start. Yeah, in the upper area, up here, his head is down. And in this area, the neck can turn left or right very easily. It's called rotation. Okay, so here's his head, turns this way or that way. And then in the thoracic spine, the same thing happens. You can see I can make it twist. It's kind of like a slinky in a lot of ways. See? So that's our rib cage area, rib basket area. And then I'm going to slide the camera down a little bit, hopefully not to lose too much here. And I want to point out that the lumbar spine is completely different. This is the lumbar spine, and it's designed not to twist. See, so when I do the twisting motion here, there's not much movement. When I do the twisting motion up here, it kind of slinkies. Let's see if you can see that. So it's kind of slinkies here and there, quite a bit up here. If I do the same movements down here, it bangs into the bone. It actually has like this, it bridges, and then if you push into it, it just hits the bone, one on top of the other. So in the lumbar spine, twisting does not occur. But where lots of movement happens is in the hips. And we're going to study that today. I'm going to come over to this side. And the hip joints are round. You see here it's round, and it turns and it rotates and it does all this. And when the hip moves, it actually moves the lumbar spine, which doesn't twist, but it drives the movement all the way up to the ribs. And now I'm going to turn him over. Somehow, there we go. And show it to you from this angle, which is even easier. Okay, so here are the hip joints, right here and here. And the hip can go up and down. It can go across, or it can turn. So there's two ball and sockets. So when we talk about pelvic movement, it really is driven by these joints here in the hip joint. So if I say, feel the contact of your pelvis on the chair and then, move, think about the hip joint. So the only way the pelvis can move, let's say he's going to turn to his left, is that this hip joint, the leg pushes down and it does this. Okay, can you see that? That comes from the joint. And then the same way when it goes the other way. So as you can tell, I'll just pull them down. When I do that to the skeleton and turn, okay, I'm just going to pull his left leg up. The lumbar spine stays still, kind of like one piece, because it can't easily turn. But the movement actually goes up here, which you may or may not see. So turns this way, and then the ribs turn this way. So it's the rib and then the hip joint, okay? And then it goes up to the neck. But it's this area right here that has to be soft and mobile to allow movement within the trunk. And the hip joints need to be mobile to allow movement below. If not, if the hip is stiff and the ribs are stiff, then the movement happens down here in the lumbar spine, and people end up with a lot of pain here because it's our brain is trying to force an area of the spine that is not designed to twist. Okay, so what the lumbar spine is designed to do is to bend and arch. Arch and bend. Okay, that's the direction the lumbar spine. Ribs can bend and arch and twist and side bend. Okay, look at that. Beautiful. Same thing with the hip. Flexion, extension, rotation, twist here, twist there, or abduction and adduction. Okay, let me just show people the entire spinal column. Remember, the spinal column is not only here, but goes all the way up to the base of the skull. And I'm going to have you kind of just imagine this, take a little snapshot of that in your brain, and we're going to play with our own skeletons. Okay, thank you.